Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me, for I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal, but do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
I'm sure. Oh, wrong target.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it's such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Okay.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
At least we're indulging. Ooh, a locker. A long letter.
It's locked.
Oh, they weren't kidding. I'm your affectionate sister, Lucy Paul, Mum and Dad. Right, what's this? Hello, sis. How are things in the big city? Here in Brom, things are not so good. It seems the flu is here again. And we have many new cases of infection in the neighbourhood. Do you remember Miss Sheller? The old drinking hag from the 3rd floor? She passed away 2 days ago. And her flat is already occupied again. Geez, you'd have to pay me a huge amount of money to go sleep in the bed in which a woman died of the flu just a few hours ago. Sorry I did not take time to quickly answer your last letter. Between taking care of little Paul, Mum and Dad, and my job at the factory, I rarely find time to write to my favourite sister. By the way, my son says hello to his Auntie Pippa. You should see the little bugger. Already driving me mad. And Mum says, you bring back some of those marvellous cakes the next times you come back home. In your last letter you told me you thought about quitting your job at Pembroke Hospital. I have to tell you, Pip, you better think twice. There are always jobs at the factory, but wages are shit. And it's as boring as a day without a shag. Oh, I have a new fiancé, and no, I'm not a slut, you moral bitch, you. So if you really want to quit and do something more useful than counting the dead every morning, maybe you better stay in London and join that band you told me about. The Guard... or Privin. Oh, something like that? Never heard of them, but if they're, like you said, some sort of civil militia trying to make a difference, then maybe it's a good choice for you. Just be sure to let others go in front. That's how my poor Billy got killed in France, by leading too many patrols. Bloody war. Anyway, come back as soon as you can and give me all the good news before that. I'm your affectionate sister, Lucy, Paul, Mum and Dad. So Pippa is thinking of joining the Prywin? The vampire hunters? Please don't. I would appreciate if you did not. But in that case, would she be able to tell that we're a vampire? We don't look like a vampire. And it's somewhat stable at the moment. Hooray! Finally, some good news.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right. Ooh.
It's locked, all right.
Oh, really? Another doctor.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reid.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir.
Rakesh.
Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague. Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
I find it kind of scary that he knows that we were dead.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
Fair.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Okay.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
A funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Yeah. She certainly is.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Fair enough.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No, I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Fair enough.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
That's one way of looking at it.
So you're ready to die?
No, I'm not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reid, I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Everything? It is indeed.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Mayhap. Ooh, an enigmatic formula. Formula written on a piece of paper seems complex and needs to be analysed. Oh, we have codeine, opium. I have 127 shillings. And I could sell Clay's hatchet. Okay. Simple but viable wedding ring that belonged to Clay Pox. Recycled. Not worth that much.
It never ceases to amaze me how the dead seem peaceful and lost at the same time.
Oh. Oh god, hang on. Crumpled letter. Dear love, I finally found the missing money for the fee asked by the ambulance driver to bring you to the hospital. Don't worry about nothing now except getting better, for I took care of everything. I asked some of our neighbours, and they told me that this Master Hooks is something of an honest crook. He may ask for extra money in exchange for a bed, but the bed is then guaranteed. I'm sorry I refused to pay first. I realise now that the important thing is that you get better soon. The Pembroke Hospital is a good place, I heard, despite the bad behaviour of this Milton Hooks. I promise you that everything is okay now. I'll see you when you clean bed as soon as possible. With fondest love, Nikolai. Oh dear. Milton Hooks isn't the best. Ooh, some shillings. No, he seems, a bit crooked. Just a tad.
You sure we're making a difference?
I'm trying to remember where the hell I've been. Right, back over this way. Was there a note?
It's here again.
I just want I saw something flashing. Oh, it was this. In the name of mercy, they depend on you. Nurses are needed now. Inquire at the nearest appointments office in... the Ministry of Labour and National Services. Or write to 15 Kingsway, London.
Discussed on every street corner. Daily routine.
About the use of garlic and, wooden stakes. Dear brothers, I must now draw your attention to a very important point. The use of garlic as a protection against vampires. Let's be crystal clear on the subject. Garlic will never protect you against those creatures, no matter how fresh, how strong, and how smelly. Garlic is totally useless as a defense. I can never say enough how damaging that novel of Bram Stoker has been. Yes, of course, the population of Slavic countries place garlic cloves in coffins. Yes, of course, inhabitants of Santorini Island hang garlic on their windows. There would be so much to write about this place, and someday soon, I have to go back to this island to further explore its occult tradition. But that is not something to protect the living from the devil. It is to tell the dead that they are aware of their malevolence. It is a symbol, nothing more, nothing less. So please, by all means, yes, wear garlic, show garlic, hang garlic, and tell the shadows that you are not afraid. But if you are looking for supernatural protection, you will have to search much deeper into the forgotten secrets of the occult tradition. For here is the truth, my fellow brothers, garlic does not repel vampires, but all the fresh plants will hurt them. It is as if their body could not stand the presence of botanical elements. I have seen an enrageful flea when whacked with a rose. Yes, a simple rose. I have witnessed a violent econ fall down and beg for mercy when struck by a wooden stake. I don't know why it is so effective, and I would give my left arm to find the answer to that mystery, but the truth remains nevertheless. Vampires are very sensitive to fresh herbs, plants, and woods. From Facing the Shadows, How and Why by Usher Taltree, Primate of St. Paul.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Oh, Miss Howcroft's disease. Oh yeah.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Fair enough.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
And it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Okay, I can't do anything else.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
What else we got? Oh, is this... Oh, this is Sean.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologise for my behaviour.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behaviour. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hallcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Fair enough.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Oh.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
It may work.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Alright.
Daily routine.
So now... I'm wondering... I might actually go and talk to Milton. Considering he's a crook.
I met him in New York once.
If only there were more of us, with less resignation
They're just
and more determination.
talking to each other in the pissing rain.
I wish I could say the same for the others.
Where's Milton gone?
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Not that one. There it is.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realised I could make a fortune.
Oh my god.
Goodbye, Milton.
Alright, well I think that's the first floor spoken to. Maybe. Oh no, I haven't spoke to you.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Oh my god, that's a lot of XP. Okay.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Yeah, sorry about that. Like fumbling on the dialogue. It's because I was trying to pour a drink, and I thought she would speak for longer than she did.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual.
He should be happy.
Especially concerning doctors.
Oh.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Hmm?
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
No, I know. I have the power of persuasion. Oh, yeah.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful.
Look like she's staring at me.
I want more. I want to make things change.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment, I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting room.
Fair. Another hint. So Pippa saves beds for patients who compare. Oh. Has felt useless as a nurse since the beginning of the epidemic. Is thinking about quitting the Vampyric hospital. There's another one. Oh, her social circles of Milton. Oh. Is mediocre among his colleagues. Runs racket. Yeah. Ooh, who's this? Oh, he has fatigue. Everybody else seems fine. Clay is, yeah, I don't know where Clay is. You got 500 XP from the soul. So we have these ones. Okay.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
I'm wondering if those guys are upstairs. Oh look, they're talking.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Ah, there we go.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
As we're right next to him.
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Okay. I still need one more hint.
Leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Okay, right, second floor. Finally, after all this time. You're gonna say I get the feeling there's even more stuff up here. Maybe not. Maybe up here is nice and quiet, and there's not really much to be done. Well, I can go even further up. I don't actually know if it ever becomes daytime. I mean, it's been nighttime for a very long time, so, you know.
Not now.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. I get the feeling this is also locked. Yep. It doesn't seem like there's all that much here then. Unless it's my... oh, it's all the way over there. Look at all this blood. Who's that? Oh, Beatrice. Okay. A used hacksaw. Is that a weapon? Oh my, it is. Hell yeah. Oh, note. T. Elwood's medical file. Convalescence. The patient's face has been heavily burnt and disfigured by a bomb during the war, even with the use of the strongest sedatives. He affirms to regularly endure severe pain from the wounds, as if the flames are still burning under the skin. He says, examinations of the is that cicatrized tissues show no trace of inflammation, infection, or swelling. Scars are clean. Could it be a case of persisting nerve damage? The patient never ceases to blame himself for his disfiguration. Could it be a case of guilt of the survivor, phantom pain manifesting as a punishment for not dying with his comrades? I mean, yeah, it could be. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else up here, so I'm missing 2 patients. Potentially. Dr. Tibbet, Strickland, and Ackroyd. This is mine. Dr. Reid. Oh, hang on. Ooh.
It's locked.
Really? Ah, man. Alright, I'll just go in here and sort it.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
I'll analyse his blood sample at the workbench.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Do I have a sink? Ooh, another note. Article on econs. It's a rare opportunity and almost a privilege to approach a vampire to observe their most intriguing physical and psychological traits with a scientific and rational eye. Here are some of the most fascinating abilities I've personally observed over the last 10 years while interviewing a few vampires, or econ, as they prefer to call themselves. Supernatural speed. A vampire can act and move like a mortal in all his actions, but the trained eye will spot that they have the keenest senses, and can react quicker than any mortal. On a few occasions, alarm, surprise, necessity to flee. I have seen a vampire move so quickly it is almost as if he had vanished just to reappear somewhere else. The human eye cannot follow their movements when they act so quickly, but it is not a teleport or dematerialization. It is only a supernatural speed. For me, it's a cat-like attribute which allows them to run, dodge, or jump longer and faster than us. I also noticed that such speed seems to exhaust them, and they are bound to physical limitations. Mesmerism. One of the most powerful abilities a vampire can deploy is the capacity to force a mortal to obey them. I call this trait mesmerism, but it has nothing to do with the mortal ability to alter a subject's mental state. A vampire can bend a mortal to their will.